Who is that on the radio?
Who is that on the radio?
Who is that on the radio?
You really want to know who's on the radio? Come on. Let's talk about it.
Jeffrey. Let's talk about it live with Jeffrey L. Miller. Watching is the best decision you'll ever make.
Thursdays from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern.
Call or text in live. 470-251-4647. Hashtag Let's Talk with Jeffrey.
And come check us out on www.statusnetwork.net.
Or download the Status Network app on your Apple or Google Play Store.
Let's give them something to talk about.
It's almost showtime, people. Let's tune in to see what Jeffrey has in store for us tonight. And here's your host, Jeffrey L. Miller.
What is going on, Facebook family? What's going on, Instagram family, Manifest TV and Status Network? What is going on? It's time for Let's Talk About It live with Jeffrey L. Miller. Every Thursday from 6 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. This is exactly how we do it. Man, we got a hot show today. It's going to be off the heezy fo sheezy. Buckle up. It's going to be one of those days. But we got a guest with us today. We're going to let her introduce herself. Tony, welcome to the show.
Hi guys, my name is Tony. You can follow me on Instagram at only_Tia Marie.
We didn't get all that yet.
I'm sorry.
She just jumped the gun. No, go ahead. I'm just messing with you. Go right ahead.
What else would you like to know?
Give us your IG again. How they can follow you?
They can follow me at only_Tia Marie.
Only Tia Marie. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Did you get caught in that traffic out there?
Yes, it was super horrible.
Man,
it was horrible.
Look at here. It's been one of those days as far as traffic goes. It shouldn't take me 2 hours to get here. It just should not do it. It almost took me 2 hours today. That's some bull, Atlanta. Also, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, I need you to pay that gas bill because it's been cold around this part. We don't do good with cold up in this piece. But in spite of that, my granddaughter loves me. My children love me. My mother loves me. My whole family loves me. And you know what time it is. It's time for you to close your mouth and listen. You ask me some questions. I give you some answers from a man's point of view. Now, I got one reason for the habitually single woman and one reason for the habitually single man as to why you might be single. But before we get into that, here is my disclaimer. Now, see, what I'm going to talk about may not apply to you. If it does apply to you, I don't want you to put your foot up in this shoe. But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in both shoes and walk around in them because you're about to learn something tonight. Now, ladies, you go first. All right, Tony, this is for all of y'all. Some of y'all ladies are single quite simply because you want to be single acting in a full-fledged relationship. How the hell are you going to do that? I need you to understand. I saw on Facebook a woman that had all her bosoms out talking about my boyfriend got mad because I wanted to wear this out. Lady, what's wrong with you? You said he don't ask you those types of things often, but one time that he did, you chose to dress over your man, and he gave you your damn key back and left. That's what I'm talking about, ladies. You can't come into no relationship with that me status. There is no me in a relationship. There is no me in a relationship. There is the we. So, ladies, I need you to understand. You can be single all you want to and act as single as you want to, but a relationship is about compromising. You're going to have to give up something because it ain't all about you. Failure to acknowledge that the relationship ain't all about you will find you by yourself, doing for yourself, and once again, single. Tony, what you think?
I think it just depends on the type of man that you are dealing with. Because sometimes if you're dealing with an alpha male, you have to realize you are his everything. He's supposed to protect you. So how can he protect you if everything is out there? So if a man approaches you and disrespects you, then you put him in position to fight. And if he does fight, you put him in position to catch a charge. And that's not you protecting your king. Then you have your beta males that allow you to dress that way because at the end of the day, sometimes they use you as woman bait because they'll see you. A woman will come up to you and be like, oh, girl, you look so cute. Your outfit's so cute. And you will think you're being disarmed. You think she's cool. Then you're like, well, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And then you leave your man with this woman that you baited for your man.
Woman bait. I've never heard that one. I like that, though. Okay.
So you baited that woman for your man. But the reason why women still want to be single is because they don't want to listen. Because at the end of the day, when you're in a relationship, you have to listen to your man. And a woman says, I want to do this, I want to do that. You just can't do it because you're going to end up with a beta male, and a beta male is far more dangerous than an alpha male. That's just my opinion.
470-251-4647. 470-251-4647. I love it. All right, fellas. Don't think I'm letting y'all off the hook. Fellas, you are next. All right, fellas, some of y'all are single simply because you are boring as fuck. Boring as hell. I mean, don't have no type of spice, no type of gumption, no type of nothing about you. I need you to understand what I mean now. You can't be boring and corny. You got to pick a struggle. You can't be boring and lazy. You got to have some type of something. You can't be boring and your sex game is whack. I need you to understand, fellas, from a woman's point of view, you got to have something. Just have at least he got a job, or at least he can make me climb the walls or something. Fellas, I need you to understand. If you ain't got nothing, but you are just boring as hell, your woman's gonna be bored. And what's the old saying my grandmother used to say, that the idle hand is the devil's playground? Well, a woman that's bored without that mental stimulation checks out. And once that woman checks out mentally, she's going to be across the other side of town, leaving your ass single. All right, Tony, what you think?
Okay, so my opinion, there is no boring man. There's only women who are boring. Because a woman should be there because the man, as I was told, the man is the head, but the woman is the neck. And without the neck, you can't move. So if your man is boring, stimulate him.
Okay.
So give him whatever it is. If he's into, let's say, World of Warcraft, try to find something that you enjoy in that, I'm sorry to say, weird stuff. Find something. There's something that you enjoy because that's a little out there. Find something that you enjoy and see if he'll go out of his comfort zone because you went out of your comfort zone to something that appeases him. And it's all about if his sex game is whack. I mean, take him somewhere and make it exciting. Pull out the ice cubes, pull out the games, pull out the dice. There's just so many things that you can do to make a man that's not boring.
What we gonna do with dice?
The dice. Like, okay, so you'll have, let's say you'll assign numbers to different sexual positions or sexual favors.
Oh, okay.
So then you take
craps or something. So
you take the dice and you throw the dice, and whatever number it lands on, you do whatever you guys put on the board. Whatever the number correlates to.
So whatsoever the number correlates to is what I get. Yeah. Or what I give.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, I feel you now. 470-251-4647. Tony, we got a couple of traditions here on Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffrey L. Miller. And one of our traditions is we show some love to our HBCUs out there. I need y'all to understand. There is nothing like a HBCU, or historically black college and university, out there. Now, outside of every HBCU, all of them are my favorite, but outside of every one of them, I need you to understand that there is a certain camaraderie that we have to have and we must maintain. So that means we got to support our HBCUs. This week, we are representing North Carolina A&T, the Aggies, up in this piece. We're going to play this piece called I Got 5 on It. Let's take a listen. We'll come back and talk about it in just a second. Go ahead and roll clip. Boy, I tell you what. Did they get jiggy with it or what? I just need y'all to understand something. Only at an HBCU. Now, Tony, where did you go to school?
Miles College.
Miles College up in the piece, an HBCU connection. Now, listen. I want everybody to understand. If you didn't go to an HBCU, you did miss out. We give each other a hard time, but it's like family. We can talk about each other, but you watch your mouth. All right, now I ain't playing with you now. Okay. All right, so Tony, let me ask you something. You brought up something that said, I talked about a man being boring, and I talked about women, wanting to be single in a relationship, and you said things from a perspective that seemed a bit submissive to me. Just a bit submissive. So I want to ask you this. When you talk about alpha male and beta male, what role should a woman have when dealing with an alpha male?
When you're dealing with an alpha male, your power is in your submission. A lot of women don't understand if you submit to an alpha male, everything that you want, everything that you desire, you will acquire because that's your power in your submission.
Okay, now you mentioned something about the head of the household. So you believe that the man is the head of the household?
Correct.
Is that by nature or by blessing?
That's just the way I believe. I believe it's in nature and by blessing. That's the way that God designed it, because a man can foresee that girl is not a good friend to you, or she's going to do something. You're going to argue with your husband or your boyfriend all day. No. Then you come home, you're like, yeah, you were right. This is what she put me through. Because he can sense things. He can sense danger, sense stuff that's not secure before you can. And that's just the way that God designed them. Not saying that we can't.
Okay.
But it's just, that's what they're designed to do if they're walking in their alignment. Let's just put that out there. Because if they're not walking in alignment, don't listen to a fool that was going to lead you in a ditch. Okay,
now when you say walking in their alignment, so how does a woman know that this is the man she's supposed to submit to? How does she know?
When he puts his needs before yours, not saying shopping, just as far as if your phone is about to get cut off, but he knows his phone is going to get cut off, but he pays your phone bill because he knows that you need your phone to be secure because you're driving back and forth to work, maybe late at night. He makes sure there's air in your tires, gas in your car, your oil is changed. You might not have the nicest house, but everything's paid for. You know what I'm saying? So that's a man that you need to submit to, not a man that finances everything and then you guys are one paycheck from losing everything, but you guys drive Range Rovers. Just saying.
Okay, I feel you. Okay, 470-251-4647. Okay, how about this one, Tony? Now, I saw something floating around on Facebook and it went like this. I'm about this close to dating a white man. How do you feel about interracial relationships?
Oh, jeez. I have
this close now.
This close. So I am going to admit I used to be one of those black women back in the day where I used to only date white men.
Wait, only?
Only.
Like ONLY.
Only date white men because I was very misguided.
Okay, so talk about that.
So I grew up in California, and the school the school I went to, I was like the only black girl, and the black guys there wanted the long hair. They said my lips was too big. They were just saying I was too loud. I looked like a monkey. And the only person that appreciated me was white men. They loved my nappy hair. They loved my full lips. So that's where my hatred had started with black men because they never wanted me. They always wanted the Spanish woman or the white woman. I was just never not good enough. Or because I am small, I wasn't thick enough. I was not the body type of a black woman, so I wasn't still good enough. So that's where it started until I moved to the South, where when I moved to the South, and I actually experienced black men who love a woman for whatever their hair is, curly, nappy, straight, big lip, you skinny, thick, anything. That's when I started to develop appreciation for black men. And the reason why I can say is that she's this close to dating a white man because I am 31, and sad to say, men that are in their in our age group, they still live off their mom, or they want to live off of you. They don't want to get a job. So then you're like, I have to date somebody who's older. But then when you get an older black man, he's set in his ways and he's trying to control you. So then it's just like, let me just go get a white guy. I just can't deal with this. Because most of the men that are good are already gone. Because they met their girl in high school or college or early on in work. So the ones that are left are bums. Sorry.
So what I'm hearing now, I'm hearing that in your age group, I remember the first time I turned 31. The first time I turned 31 several times. You're saying that the men in your demographic are not viable mates.
Some, not saying all, but the majority who are single that you find if you're like, I'm divorced. So when you're going through a divorce and you're going back into the dating pool, you're getting the what left, I like to call it. So you may...
The what left?
Yes.
Okay.
The what left, meaning the men that didn't get married, the men that were out there having a million babies, so nobody wants them now, the men who are damaged because they married the wrong woman. Because a lot of times people don't understand black men are damaged too, because some women are awful. Some women have dragged these black men so bad that they're traumatized just like we're traumatized. So you got two traumatized people in a relationship looking like who gonna cheat on who first.
470-251-4647. All right, let's get deep into it now. Y'all didn't know it was going to be this fire. I didn't know either, but it is that fire today. So here we go. All right, Tony, let's get into it now. Let's talk about the state of the black woman right now. Now, I've spoken to several young ladies, and they're intelligent. They are well-to-do. They are established, single as hell, and single with no possibilities. So why do you think there are so many successful women who are out there right now that are single?
That's the way the government designed it. I'm sorry to say that. I don't like to get political. But if you look at this, a black man can go into a company and work years and years and years, even go get the education. But I can be 4 years outside of school and not be qualified, and I'll get the job over him, because the way that the government is set up is for us to not recognize our black man as head of household. So you have a woman who's the head because she makes more money. We're more educated. We get the higher paying jobs. And black men, they're still seen as aggressive. You could be the most mild-mannered black man out there, but you're still deemed aggressive. So the government does that to destroy our families. So that's why there's so many educated black women out here, because right now, even for example, when I went to Vegas, if you're a single woman, right? You can get all the free trips, you can go on all the seminars, everything. I had a friend with me, he was a single guy, wasn't married.
Nothing.
He couldn't get anything.
Nothing.
It's
discrimination.
Yes, he couldn't get nothing. He just chose to wait for the right one. So, he's not married, doesn't have any attachments, but he doesn't get anything. So, but I just think that's the way that the government designed it, to keep our family structure separated, because at the end of the day, me included, if I make more money than you, sometimes I talk down to you. Like, why are you telling me what to do? I make $10,000 more than you.
Let's talk about that. Now, this is for the fellas. This is just me opining just a bit. Quite honestly, I don't care how much money you make as a woman. I'm not trying to be the head of the household. Not trying to be. I'm trying to be the household's foundation. Because if I lay a solid foundation, and I always say this to men, quit trying to be the head of the household. Because that means that all you can do is one thing, support one thing. That's this head. But as the foundation, you can support the entire house. So if your woman makes more money than you do, and you are the foundation, then you can take the money that you're bringing in, and that money can be invested to help grow the wealth of the household. Or there can be something else that happens, some type of partnership that can start between the two of you if you're setting the proper foundation. What I've come to find is that when that woman becomes arrogant, and I call it female arrogance, successful female arrogance, I've come to find that that respect factor melts when you are secure in your masculine energy. It doesn't matter how much money a woman makes when you're a real man, because she can trust the fact that you can lead yourself, she can partner with you, And then submission is something that she'll give you because you've earned it. All right, fellas, don't think you're automatically supposed to get the big piece of chicken. You got to put some work in and you got to earn it. All right, listen, I got a clip here. I want everybody to understand. I find these clips just amazing. Since we're talking about relationships, there's this white dude named Michael Myers. You know, this dude, he is very determined. He walks with a certain, strut, a certain presence about himself, and he goes after what he wants, and usually when he finds what he wants, he absolutely kills it. Every time. You ever heard of Michael Myers?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to play this video to show how a woman can affect a man with the determination of Michael Myers. We'll play the clip, roll clip, we'll come back and talk about it.
I come home every day, working 16-hour shifts. On my feet, Mike. You don't do shit, but walk slow and chase these hoes around the block with this damn dicky suit on. You can't do shit right. Beat up the pussy, do shit, wash the dishes. Ajax, Mike. You know what? This shit, Ajax, Mike. This shit gonna end today. I'm telling you, I'm through with it. That's all you gotta do is wash that knife. Hand me the knife. You got spoons, bowls, you got a lot to choose from. That would have been Lori telling you to wash dishes. I bet you would have washed the dishes then. That would have been Lori giving you some pussy. I bet you would have got some pussy then. Ah!
Man, ladies, I tell y'all one thing. Y'all can bring us down. Y'all can bring us down because sometimes y'all just don't know how to stop talking. All right, Tony, so talk to me about this now. Let's talk about a woman's communication, her communication skills.
So,
how important is that?
In that clip, I saw myself.
Oh, you saw yourself getting choked out?
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to get choked out because I would have stabbed him before he had a chance to choke me.
Woo! Okay.
But, no, because you get tired as a woman if you are sitting here carrying the weight of a man. You're paying all the bills, you're doing everything, and he's out here talking to Susie and Molly and everything like that. So you get angry. So at the end of the day, so how am I supposed to talk to you? I try to talk to you normally. Maybe I've even applied for you jobs, and then you still won't work. So how else am I supposed to talk to you? Like you got sense? No. So I'm gonna talk to you how I want to talk to you, and then you're gonna get out of my face.
I love it. I love the fact that you have admitted that that's the man that you chose.
I did.
If you chose that man and he's acting that way, you got a choice to leave that man. Now, ladies, I need y'all to take ownership of your circumstances here. If you have a man that ain't working, ain't trying to work, and you still going there busting your ass, and he's still sitting there laying up, apparently it's either the wood or you are just desperate. Some way or the other, though, I need you to understand, though, you have to take full accountability for what's going on in your household if you are the breadwinner. How about this? If you are helping him apply and you see he's not following up, why not use the gift of discernment that you were born with and let his ass go? I don't get it. Help me understand. Break it down for me.
So, I guess what if it's a situation where he did work the first year and then he lost his job and then he just doesn't want to work after that? You already a year into the relationship, you're pushing him. You don't know if he's going through a depression. You don't know what's going on, but he
That's
just
fair.
won't work.
That's fair.
And then you've already built a strong foundation with him, and he was what you thought he was at first. So what are you supposed to do then?
Okay, that's fair. So let's say he is starting to get to a point where he's feeling a little down on himself. Okay. Adding fuel to that ain't helping. So if you come home and you're frustrated and you're badgering like that, and the clip was satirical, but let's say you come home like that and you're fussing at a man that's been home all day, who's already down on himself. That ain't building him up. So ladies, I'm going to challenge you to be creative. If you do decide to stay there with that man, you got to start pouring into that man. This is what I mean by pouring into him. If his vessel is broken, don't pour anything into it because it's going to leak right on out. It ain't going to go nowhere. Make sure you get him to fix his own vessel first. Find something that he has displayed some type of competency in and start to build little bitty foundational nourishment or encouragement towards those types of things. Baby, why don't you just, you draw really well. Why don't you just start painting and start selling your paintings online? Just drop little nuggets to see if that spurs him to action. If he gets spurred to action, continue to pour into that. Here's the thing. Don't be stupid, ladies. If you pour into the man and he moves his vessel, or he breaks it on purpose after you fixed it up or helped him patch it up, if he just wants to be down, he can do that by himself. But if you are going to stay, if you are going to allow that person to be an emotional and financial vampire, then deal with it. Otherwise, don't. If you're going to let them be there, deal with it. But going off, popping off at the mouth, no. Because that's on you. You let them stay there, sucking up all your good air. That's how I would recommend that you would handle that right there. 470-251-4647. All right, Tony, so let me ask you this question, homie.
Okay.
First of all, are you dating?
Yes.
You are dating. Was dating difficult for you before you met the person you're dating right now?
Dating is difficult, period.
What's difficult about dating?
Because I am an overachiever, so a lot of men always tell me they feel like I don't need them. So I'm one of those women that always gets broken up with because the man doesn't feel like they're needed. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to wait around for a man to buy me a house, so I bought my own.
Fair enough.
I needed a car, so I bought my own. I needed to finish school, so I financed it myself. I wanted to start a company. I went and got the loan to start the company.
Excellent.
So I just can't wait. But they feel as though because of who I am and how my drive is that I don't need them. So
well, you don't need them
it's
on the
difficult.
materialistic
side. But a lot of men I ran into want a woman to need them, as far as financially.
Okay, I get it. Now, where are you meeting these men?
Those men.
Yeah, the ones you met in the past.
In the past, I've met them at work or, shopping or at an event. Sometimes I go to marketing events for my company, might meet them at a marketing event. I just meet them different places, and it goes maybe 1 or 2 conversations or 1 or 2 dates, and then they're like, yeah, you just so fiery. You don't seem to need anybody, and then they just kind of go away.
So when they say fiery, let's talk about being fiery. Now, are you fiery as in you're trying to warm something up or burn something away?
I guess warm something up because I'm the type of woman, if you're my man and you have a talk show, I'm finna be out everywhere promoting, going everywhere like, hey, go to my man's talk show. Hey, if we sponsor your little league, can we have our banner here? Promoting our talk show. So at the end of the thing, everything that I think about is money, and I think about business nonstop. Okay. So there's not anywhere that I go where I don't see a potential for money, because if I meet somebody, I'm gonna turn it into a business deal before you know it.
So you're passionate.
I'm very passionate if you're my man. So a lot of people can't take that because I don't know how to turn it off. I'm always working.
Okay. All right. So I would submit this to you, that you just met the wrong men in the wrong places. Go other places. How the hell? I'm just trying to figure out how these dudes who want to be supported say, oh, no, I can't deal with you because you too much about your paper. I'm almost cut on my own show. Heck no. That's what the right type of man wants. So clearly you went to the right place to meet the right man, correct? I can ring the bell? Or you still dating, looking for the right man?
Child, I'm not going to comment.
Go to different places. That's the bottom line.
Yes.
Where you been going, don't go there no more to meet somebody.
Exactly. Don't go nowhere.
Yeah, go somewhere else. Go to some networking events and see if you can find a mate and a business partner.
Yeah.
Stop going to Club Echelon. Okay, so once again, we're getting close to that 30-minute mark. I want everybody to know how they can follow you. I got one more clip I'll play, but tell people how they can reach you and follow you.
You can reach me at only_Tia Marie on Instagram. If you look at me on Facebook, I am under my country name, Tony Ann Santiago.
I need y'all to understand that Tony Ann, she's just waiting on the other part of the Ann. So it's going to be Tony Ann Bob or Tony Ann Michael, whatever, her man's name going to be. But that's why she was named Tony Ann. She's destined to be with somebody because They put the name together.
That is funny
and
you
it's
say
so.
that, because if you say my first name and my middle name fast, it's both of my parents' names. So my full name is Tony and Laretha, so it's Tony and Doretha.
I love it. I love it. Y'all see, I be just knowing stuff. Stuff just be dropping in my lap. Now listen, I'm gonna tell y'all one thing. Well, let me ask you this question before you go.
Okay.
Why women be lying so much?
Child, sometimes we have to lie either to save your feelings because you're not catching the hint. Because if I want you to leave me alone and I'm ignoring you and you keep calling me, I'm just going to start lying to you so you can stop, make me leave me alone.
Okay, now I understand that. That's out of necessity. But sometimes, y'all, we be trying to see y'all and y'all still be lying like y'all don't want to see us. Why y'all be lying like that?
Well, maybe I really don't want to see you and I don't know how to tell you.
Just tell me you don't want to see me. Why you
That's
lie?
rude.
The truth is never rude.
It's rude. So, okay, if you're this guy, you're super confident and you like me and I'm telling you, hey, I just don't want to see you. I'm be every B word in the book and stuck up.
That guy's not super confident. That guy is hollow because he believes that his whatever he got is enough to get any woman to say yes. Now, if you run across a super confident guy and you say, hey, I don't want to see you, he's going to be like, okay, next.
Oh, see, that would make me want to fight.
Well,
That's how you said it. I'm mad. And you didn't even say it to me for real.
He's not saying next to you. He'll say, okay.
Yeah, but
then he's going to hang up the phone
but
and
then
he's going to call somebody else.
But I don't want him to do that either. So I'd rather lie.
Whoa,
I'm sorry. You asked me a question. You asked me and I'm being honest.
I appreciate the honesty, but let's delve a little deeper into that. If you say you don't want to see me and we are just dating,
yes,
getting to know each other, but you don't want to see me, that doesn't automatically mean that I don't want to see somebody else.
But
how do you get to tell me, or how do you get to even want me not to see somebody else?
I don't want you to.
Okay, help me understand though. And why would you get mad if I did?
Because I felt like I gave you my energy by going on maybe a first date with you, so you have to wait.
I gotta wait
till I'm ready to release you. You wanted to be honest. I
gotta wait for you to
want to release you to the world. Like, I'm not ready. Maybe I'm making a mistake. Maybe I need to reflect on my decision. Because sometimes I sit there and be like, do I really want to say I don't want to see him? Maybe I can deal with the way that he eats with his mouth open. Maybe I can deal with the fact that he don't know he's going bald yet and stop staring at the bald spot.
I'm feeling triggered.
I'm feeling
triggered up in this seat.
I'm sorry. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. So you just have to wait till I'm ready to release you. But I don't want you to date somebody else, because then I might pull up on your date and be like, I didn't tell you to go on this date. I'm just saying.
So 470-251-4647. I'm going to tell you like this, ladies. I love the fact that you're being so candid and that you are just putting it on out there. But here is the reality of dating a man who is standing firm in his masculinity. You ain't going to be able to tell him much or nothing when y'all in the dating phase. And if you do feel so compelled to say you can't date nobody right now, you trying to exercise relationship treatment in the dating phase, and you quite frankly haven't earned it yet. So that check you just wrote is going to bounce. It's going to be returned. Insufficient relationship funds. You need to invest more in the relationship before you can cash that type of damn check. I'm just telling you like it is. I want to play this clip, though, about how y'all be faking the funk, playing hard to get. We're going to roll this clip. We'll come back and talk about it. Y'all go ahead and enjoy. Here's the clip.
I'm not coming over. What you want me to come over for? You not finna get nothing if I come over anyways. I'm driving right now. What you want? What you want? What you want me to come over for? Alright. Damn. I already took a shower. You're not getting none, so don't be trying me when I come over there, because I'm still mad at you. I am.
That's pretty cool, wasn't it? Y'all like Tony? I like Tony. I had fun with Tony. Man, listen, we every now and then what we do is we have people that just drop into the station, and I'm going to be honest with you. Tony just dropped into the station. She wasn't a scheduled guest. But guess what? You come up in here and I'm starting the show, you liable to be pulled up on stage or on the air with me. And it just is what a TI is. All right, I love it. All right, I want to talk about something that's really, really, really serious right now. First of all, we getting older and more in tune with what's happening around us when we start talking about politics in the way that we talk about politics. I had so many people reach out to me about what's going on in Washington, D.C. with the president and Congress and what's getting ready to go on with the Senate. I'm just going to say this. This is going to be my 2 cents about it, and then that's going to be it. Ladies and gentlemen, don't get it twisted. If Barack Hussein Obama had done half of the things that Donald John Trump have done, half of them, he wouldn't have made it 2 years. Don't get it twisted. When my conservative friends say to me, Barack Obama did this, as if it's justification for their lack of action against what's happening right now. Listen, when you say to somebody, do this favor for us and you'll get this, that is the crime. The action is the crime. The fact that they are stonewalling, refusing this, refusing that, that is obstruction of Congress. Congress has the right to investigate the presidency. It's the checks and the balances. Now, the bicameral system in the legislature says that Congress does this and the Senate does that. And the Senate has already told you, yeah, this ain't going nowhere. I can guarantee you that if William Jefferson Clinton could get some sloppy toppy and get impeached over that, someone basically sacrificing the country's interest by delaying funds that were already approved and earmarked for an ally, putting their interest above the country, you gotta make a stand. You just gotta make a stand. And if you don't make a stand, all right, I just know how to deal with your ass. I just know the type of person you really are. Because the only difference between the Republican and Democrat, that part out the picture, the only difference is that if Barack Hussein Obama had done it, you would be going nuts, to all my conservative friends. Now, we still cool, but you ain't coming to the cookout no more. 470-251-4647. 470-251-4647. All right, let's get into it a little bit deeper. Now, first of all, I enjoy some of the conversations that I've seen online, and we were talking about the comment of, I'm this close to dating a white man. I was looking at one of my Facebook friends' response, and she found the perfect meme. In the conversation, it was like, one young lady said, I love anyone that loves me. And her question was, how could you be with a white man? She said, you know what? I've only dated black men my whole life, and the black men have hurt me. So why not date a white man? And this sister came back with this rebuttal, and she said, so you will not date men who look like the men who hurt you, but you will date men who look like the men who hurt your people. I was blown away. I'm like, wow, that's pretty doggone deep. And now I'm not saying that you can't love who you want to love. You can love whoever you want to love. I'm just talking about how deep that got. Because when you think about it, yeah, there are a lot of things happening in our community that people like us are doing, like human trafficking. Unfortunately, most of the women who are being taken are women that are African American or other women of color. And a lot of times, the people who are taking them are men of color. Unfortunately. And it just is what it is. That's the truth. Let's really go a little deeper about it, though. Let's say that man kidnaps a woman, and he takes her and delivers her to somebody. And then that somebody goes down the distribution chain. And I'm not trying to make this, sound, clinical. I'm just saying, when you go down the distribution chain, the person at the top of the chain ain't gonna look like me. The chances of that are very, very low. So the funding of this whole thing, it ain't coming to people that looks like us. Now, first of all, it should not be happening. We have to be vigilant. I'm not making excuses for anybody. I'm not trying to justify human trafficking at all. It's a shame. And I think about my daughter, I think about my granddaughter, and it really, really bothers me. It really does. With that said, just think about it. There's somebody who's in charge of that, and in all likelihood, he ain't gonna look like us. Just is what it is. Let's look at what's happening with the legalization of marijuana. I want you to really, really think about this. Think about how they're rolling it out. First of all, they're making the cost of entry exorbitantly high. Okay, and when you do that, it makes it difficult for entrepreneurs to get in. I think we got a call. Let's see what we got here. Hey, Carly, you on the line with Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffrey L. Miller. Give us your name and go right ahead with your comment.
This is Jake.
Hey, Jake, go ahead with your comment. Go ahead, Jake.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, now, Jake, if you from State Farm, I want you to understand how quick my hang-up finger is. So if you got something to say, I want you to go ahead and say it. I'm ready for it. Go ahead, Brother Jake.
Well, I smoke pot every day. I mean, if that's...
I love it. Brother Jake tried to get me. Now, listen, first of all, I'm going to say to my conservative friends, if you really want that smoke, if you really want to have a sincere debate, call me up. Don't call with no bull. I ain't got time for that. But if you want to have a real debate, you will find me not wanting or lacking information. I will smoke your... Just like you smoke weed every day, that's how you will get smoked in a debate with me. Now, if you're serious, here's the number, 470-251-4647. You playing games, I'm going to hang up on you. But if you really want to debate me now, I would love to have you. I'm going to let you say your piece. I'm going to rip you up after that. Let's get back into it. So, we were talking about the cannabis industry and how it's growing and how they have put laws in place that make it very, very difficult for people who don't have funding to get started in the industry. They make it very, very difficult. The people that are making it very, very difficult are protecting the interest of their friends. And their friends don't look like us. Now, don't get it twisted. There are some legislators who are trying their best to make an opportunity for people that look like us to get into the industry. There are all type of municipalities who are passing laws to either expunge or seal those types of offenses because they're decriminalizing it very, very rapidly. At the same time, there's almost this cap. We don't want y'all to get rich off that. We don't want y'all to get a hold of that and begin to make money. In our community, what we really need more than anything is we need the institutions that generate money. That's why entrepreneurship is very, very important. Our women leading the forefront in entrepreneurship, hey, I love it. I love it. Men, we have to do better. We have to be just as involved and just as vigilant and just as passionate about being business owners as well, so we can partner with our women who are doing these types of things. Just imagine all that passion and all that fire being built in our communities, how quickly we will rebuild what it is we have going. I love it. I love it. Now listen, I got a clip before we get back into it. I'm going to call this one, Well, Damn. the thing I need everybody to understand is that every now and then when I come across these clips, I'm just blown away by it. It's something that's either funny as hell or it's dynamic as hell. So when I get something that makes me say, well, damn, I just gotta share it. Now, when we had Tony here with us, we were talking about relationships and love and things of that nature. Well, I'm gonna show you an example of two people who in love, and we'll come back and we'll talk about it, and then we'll get to it. Let's go ahead and roll that clip.
Oh, shit. What the fuck? Look. Hey. Shit. Get it, Pop. Oh, shit. Get it, nigga. Get it. Oh, it's over with. It's over with. It's over with. It's over with. Cut it off. He won.
All I can say is, well, damn. He hit that split, and he couldn't get back up for a minute. He had to kind of roll back with it. I applaud you for being able to do a damn split, but all I can say is, well, damn. All right, folks, listen, I want y'all to understand something. I think we got a troll messing with us tonight. Now, there's a cartoon called the Troll Hunters, and what they do is they go around and they hunt these damn trolls. So it looks like we're going to have a little fun. So I'm going to engage this troll, just to see how trollistic he can really get. I mean, is he like a super troll or just a troll? You know, them troll dolls with the hair that sticks up? Is he one of those types of trolls? Or is he the troll that stays up under the bridge? That's what we're going to check out. So let's roll. Here we go. Hey, caller, you're on with Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffrey L. Miller. Give me your name and your comment. Go right ahead.
My name's Chris. I was just going to say I really like the show and I appreciate everything you do for us.
All right, Chris, appreciate you.
Yep, no problem.
All right, man, take it easy. Okay. Thanks a lot for calling, Chris. We look forward to seeing you every Thursday here from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on Manifest TV. We are powered by Status Network. Thank you so much for the call. Let's get back into it. You know how you have people that be talking all big? You know, hey, don't pull up on me. Don't try me. They just be talking all big. When things go down, though, they scared as hell. People be talking that big stuff. Well, I found this big talking dog. I mean, first of all, if you my dog and you can't bite a mofo, you can't protect a brother, what I need you for? So we're going to play this clip, then we're going to get back to the other stuff that I'm really passionate about and I've been waiting to talk to you about. So let's go ahead and roll that clip. Here we go. This is a tough guy.
Anybody that's standing behind it getting the business. Let's go! Hey, whoa! Hey, back up, Sabrina, back up! This sucker ain't from here! Hey, man, hey, get back! I don't let him in! What you let him in for? Sabrina hit him in the head or something. What you standing there for? Hey, man, look, you know what? Forget y'all, bro. Y'all wrong for letting this sucker come after me like that, huh? We're supposed to be a team! Open the door up, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he was tough. You see how he moved real quick? He was real tough for a minute there, but then all of a sudden, that T-Rex walked up there and he started backing up. I don't need no dog like that. I need a dog that's going to represent and hold me down, at least nibble on an ankle or something. Dang, he ran all the way back and then started hiding. All right, listen, I want to get into something with y'all now. I want to get back to talking about relationships with men and women and the gap between the two. Ladies, well, first of all, I am a professional life coach. I focus on coaching men to help men be better daters, better partners, better husbands. I teach them dating techniques and I teach them techniques for effective communication from a man's perspective. I spoke to a young lady this week and the conversation was talking about being protected, feeling protected. And it went like this. She said, in essence, that black women don't feel protected by black men. We don't feel like, y'all got our back. We don't feel like, inherently y'all are there for us. And I said, that's a powerful comment when you got a lot of women saying that they don't want a man or they don't need no man or a man can't do nothing for her or I'm doing everything myself and all this other independent talk that you're talking about. Now, don't get it twisted. Even the sister who is fiercely independent deserves to be respected and protected. I'm not advocating that we not protect them. What I am saying is that you are manifesting your reality. I'm not talking about how independent you are. Independent means you are self-sufficient. So you are setting up right there that you are everything that you absolutely need because you only got you. That's all you want. You. And there's nothing wrong with being confident, competent, and happy as a single person, man or woman. Nothing wrong with that at all. At the same time, when you are operating in that space, you can't be surprised at how difficult it is to have someone come into that space because you are building a space of independence, not a space of interdependency. I'm not telling you to depend on anybody. Basic life skills, everyone should be able to take care of themselves at minimum. What I'm saying is interdependency allows for someone else to bring something to partner with you with. One young lady told me that, I kind of want to get married, but I don't want to live in the same house. What in the? I would live down the street. And then, you leave and come see me. She said this for real. I said, okay, wait. First of all, am I going to have a key? Can I have a key at least? Well, if I have a key, I might as well live. Well, you live with? No, I want to live down the street. I don't get it. Another young lady, a good friend of mine, was talking, with family, and family's doing very well, and she's doing very well, and it's like, I'm not impressed with anything a man has. I got my stuff, you keep your stuff over there, and occasionally we'll get together. Well, damn. I'm paraphrasing what she said. At the same time, though, if that's what you're saying, occasionally we'll get together, no wonder the relationships you have aren't fruitful, because that's what you're speaking, that's what you're manifesting. I'm just saying. So, ladies, if you are really serious about being in relationships, manifest it. You manifest every damn thing else. You manifest that house, that car, that job, that career, that money, all that. You manifest all of it, but you get lazy as hell when it comes to the relationship. That's on you. If you're that successful, if you're that powerful, why not be that powerful and successful in your relationships? No, you're choosing to do that because if you get in a relationship, you got to give something up. You got to compromise. You have to be open to the possibility that somebody might break your heart. It ain't worth the risk. You playing it safe. Keep on playing it safe. Keep on collecting cats. I'm just saying, ladies. I'm just saying. Y'all know I love y'all. 470-251-4647. Listen. Fellas, don't think I wasn't going to talk about y'all tonight. Y'all, that's not how I do. I might talk about the women, but I'm damn sure going to talk about y'all too. I had a brother get mad at a woman for catching him cheating. I mean, he started bringing up all this stuff. He started saying this and saying that about her and how she don't do this and how she don't do that and expected me to say, man, yeah, you should have went out there and smashed. That ain't how it's supposed to be. And that's not what he got. I'm just going to set the story. Basically, he met this chick and he just hit. He just had sex with her. They just got together. It was a one-time thing. He was sloppy. And old girl text. His girl looked. What's this text message? Now, if your woman has the phone like this, it's over. Just go ahead and come clean, close your mouth, because you're cold busted. I hope y'all can catch that reference. I'm kind of telling my age, but I hope you can catch that reference. At that point, fellas, if you're sincere, own up to what you did. Admit it, and if she decides to stay, good. Do the work to repair the damage that you've done. But if you get caught, and now you got every argument in the book, you're showing, first of all, that you ain't nothing but a manipulator. You would have took that to the grave. And now you're still trying to manipulate because you don't want to take responsibility for what it is that you've done. And that's not man. First of all, it's not an adult, but that's not manhood right there. Now, I'm not a perfect guy. One thing that I do my very best to do is own up to the stuff that I do that's wrong. Apologize about it sincerely, and then give changed behavior. Not just apologize about it and then do the same stuff. Apologize and give changed behavior. That's what I try my best to do. And that's what I coach this gentleman on. And he just doesn't see it. You know, man, she, instead of owning what he did. After going down the whole list of everything she did, honestly, none of it justified seeing another woman. Man, she be on me sometimes, man. You know, she always fussing, okay? She's probably fussing because the energy that used to put in her, you putting over here now. Damn right, she fussing. You set the expectation. Now you're not living up to it. You expecting her to backslide with you? That's not what women do. No. If you set the bar right here, that is the standard. This is subpar. And she gonna fuss. But if you set the bar right here and occasionally you spike, like that heartbeat, that boop, that moment of adulation right there, that keeps her over the top. But when you come off that high point, you go back to the standard. You don't go down here. Now, if you're doing this, that's a bad thing. Now, when the heart comes down, there's a little bitty bounce, but you don't want it to go way down. That means something's wrong with the heart. In comparison, there's something wrong with the relationship. If you got these peaks and valleys, and that's the whole relationship, peak and valley, something's wrong. That's not healthy. That's not healthy. More than anything else, fellas, what you can do is provide stability for a woman. Emotional stability, financial stability, meaning you got your stuff together, you can sustain yours, and you're not taking away from hers. Stability, emotional stability. If you have the financial and the emotional stability down, I'm not saying be a cake daddy, but I'm saying that you bring stability financially and you bring stability emotionally. Almost everything else takes care of itself. A woman will even deal with your your sex abilities being a little subpar, because at least he got this part taken care of. But if you ain't got none of that, if you don't have emotional or financial and you got good sex game, that's only gonna go for so long, because you can only keep it up for so long. Once it go down, she's good. Bye. Deuces, your Uber is outside that she ordered for you because you ain't got no car. Come on, fellas. We got to do better than that. We got to do better, fellas. I'm telling you, we got to do better. 470-251-4647. So, you know, I have these conversations all the time with my kids. I talk to my son and my daughter about stuff. At this age, 22 and 20, you know, they out, they're doing their own thing. And so in the course of having our conversations, every now and then I give them a glimpse of adulthood. So I might cuss, which is something I rarely do. I might cuss in front of them or say something to make them laugh and stuff like that. But they be trying to cuss back. That's not how it's supposed to be. I'm still grown. Yeah, legally you grown, but you can't cuss back. Only I can cuss back. So I took my son out for a cigar. We was out hanging out last week or so, having a good time. You know, he said he wanted to hang out with his dad. All right, you can hang out with your dad. Let's roll. Went to a cigar bar, got him a cigar. We sitting there smoking. Time to order drinks. I said, give me a Grand Marnier straight up. What you want? Why did my son say Coors Light? Coors Light. I looked at the waitress. I'm like, hell no. No, give him a Grand Marnier straight up too. The hell you mean a Coors Light? I didn't understand. You want to hang out with your dad. You know, Coors Light ain't at the cigar bar. Sorry. That's just not how it goes. But we had a good time. I really enjoy, spending time with him as an adult, because now they get to see what adult life is like. And they start to miss being, children. Adult, hey, I enjoy being a father. I enjoy being grown. But it's something about being a child, not having to worry about anything. You ain't got to cook. You ain't got to go grocery shopping. You ain't got to pay no bills. You just sit back and your parents do all this stuff. You get back to cake, just caking on stuff, feet kicked up, head behind your head. Come on, son. Y'all miss it now. That's all right. Y'all gonna learn. Y'all gonna learn today. All right, here we go. 470-251-4647. Let's talk about fatherhood. First of all, this clip, I love it. TLC starts early. I need you to understand, fellas, there is nothing better than being a father. Ladies, I feel y'all. I know motherhood is all that stuff. I get it. There is nothing better than being a father. Here's what I mean. Manhood and masculinity is under assault. I say it's under assault because there's this part where it has to be redefined. What manhood is needs to change is what some people are saying. And I cry bull. It doesn't need to change. It needs to adapt. So I guess adaptation is changing, but it doesn't need wholesale changes. Let's put it that way. Here's what I mean. When my father came home, we knew better than be about some bull because he wasn't trying to hear it. He was tired from working or whatever the case was. We knew better. At the same time, there's a certain amount of affection that you get from a father that's a little different than the affection you get from a mother. You get the disciplinary type of affection. But you still know that your father cares about you. But you know that, you test him too tough, he'll tap that butt. It just is what it is. And so when you have that type of energy in the household, it puts the right type of balance in the offspring. I have a formula called the H2O formula. H2O. H2, 2 parts of hydrogen, O, 1 part oxygen. So my analogy is 1 H is for him, 1 H is for her, and that O is the offspring. Now, if you take 1 part of the hydrogen away from the molecule, then guess what? You have an unstable mixture. It becomes unstable. If that don't sound like what's happening right now in reality, if that doesn't sound like the her in the household raising the offspring by herself isn't producing some unstable offspring, you missing the analogy. But when you got 1 part of him and 1 part of her working together to pour into that offspring, the offspring is stable. And it's stable, and then it can replenish anything that you put it on. If you have a good plant with no water, in most instances, that plant ain't gonna grow. If you have a plant in the desert that can absorb water and hold on to that water, that plant's gonna be okay. So if you have this offspring that's been watered the right way, nurtured and given the right elements the right way, then it's likely that child's gonna be okay. I saw a stat that said 70-something% of households have no father. That the United States has a 24%, as far as global, it's like 20-something% of all households in our country are no father. That leads the world. The whole world, we're number 1 in a category we shouldn't aspire to be number 1 in. So with fatherhood missing like that, there's no wonder that children, in some instances, are acting out the way that they're acting out because they don't have that balance that men bring to the table. So I want to play this clip just to show you how children really understand at an early age that affection, whether it's from the mother or father, but when the father is there, that father brings that extra balance to the equation. This is a really short clip, but let's go ahead and roll it. Here we go. Did you see how she like me put this remote control down? You know it's called a remote control. Ain't no remote control. She put that remote control down. It's like, hey, I was comfortable. I need you to, make that adjustment right here, pops. I love it. I love it. I was speaking to a young lady and she said that she's a daddy's girl. And when she started talking about her father, her eyes started glistening, sparkling. Because she's a daddy's girl. She was telling me how she had a situation and you know what? Her dad said, here, I got you. Boom. Daddy's girl. Now, mother's still there. She loves her mother too. But I'm saying, daddy, like, boom, that's a standard right there. Now she knows what a man's supposed to do. And she can make the adjustment accordingly. If the guy doesn't make her feel some of that her father's helped her understand as a standard, then he needs to get gone. Because that's not the right type of man for you. 470-251-4647. Listen. All right. People still tripping on Colin Kaepernick. People are still tripping on Colin Kaepernick. Here's the thing about the whole Colin Kaepernick situation. First of all, when Colin Kaepernick took a knee, that season, his statistics weren't as high as they were. He was playing injured. When he did finally, get a chance to heal a little bit, he started doing well. And even though he was injured, his stats were still better than the person that they had starting in front of him. So they sat that person down and put Colin back in the game. Let's not get that twisted. Colin can play football. He can play football. When it comes to the NFL, putting together this tryout, that was the biggest piece of bull ever. The biggest piece of bull, because that's not how free agents are treated. They're normally called to the team facility for a workout individually with that team. That's how it normally happens. There's a standard waiver that's presented that everybody signs. Not some new waiver with new employment information in it. That ain't how it works. And because that's not how it works, that just further proves that there is collusion against Colin Kaepernick. Some people have said things like, well, why does he still want to play with him? He got his money. Why does he still want to play with him? Why do you think Muhammad Ali wanted to box again? Now, Ali was a little different because he wasn't making money like that. And when his case ended, he didn't get no settlement like that. He had to go start boxing because he needed the money. Kaepernick doesn't need the money. At the same time, Eric Reed is playing. Nobody's saying anything about why he want to play. He's starting and he's still kneeling. Kunta Kinte, he can't show up for no job interview. I can't go to my job with a Kunta Kinte shirt on if I expect to work for someone. You're right, you can't, because you don't have the talent level that Colin Kaepernick has. You can't demand from the marketplace what he can. So you're absolutely right when you say you can't wear that shirt. You can't. Don't be mad at him because he can. His statistics weren't that good anyway. Ha! There are 50-something guys that got picked over him. His stats are better than 40 several of them. 40 several of them. His stats are better. So all I'm going to say is this. I don't know why people are still hating on Kaepernick the way that they are. They hate him so much just because he took a knee in a silent protest. And they hate him so much. They love the flag more than they love other races of people. You're messing with my fun. You're inconveniencing me. I don't want to be exposed to this type of stuff. I don't get it. All right, so 470-251-4647. We got a call. Let's see what we got. Hey, caller, you're on live with Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffrey L. Miller. Give us your name and your comment. Go right ahead.
Hey, Tyrell here. I just wanted to get on the live. That's about it.
All right, good deal. So, we got a troll. It's a little troll, though. He gonna call me and give me Chris, Tyrone. I love it, but it's a little troll. I love it. Here's the thing about trolling someone. You want to get a reaction. So if you really, really want to effectively troll me, you got to say something with some substance. I think you're scared. I think you're scared to really come and engage me on a political topic because, like I said, I stay up on the politics of the country. Stay up on it. And because I do that, I'm ready for you. But you're not ready for this smoke. I can tell you're not ready for this smoke because you keep on playing these games. Let's do this. You got to be humble. If you're going to troll somebody, Either you got to be effective or you got to be humble. I think you got to be humble because you haven't quite reached that level to where you can really, really engage in real trollology, for lack of a better word. If you're gonna be a student of the game, you're gonna troll someone, you got to really be effective about it. And you're kind of slipping. I'm really on to that game right here. All right, moving forward. Here's something else I want to talk about. I want to talk about kids. I want to talk about the way our kids are acting right now. I want to talk about how disrespectful some children are. Now, I'm just not talking about the kids in our neighborhoods and in our communities. I'm just talking about generationally. Generationally. I like to believe that my children know how to act. They know how to go anywhere, and they know how to engage people, speak to people, conduct themselves, and handle business. You know, my son had to go get his driver's license not long ago. And the way he spoke to people, it was about business. He asked clear questions, asked for directions, completed whatever he was, and said, thank you. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. He didn't have to say that stuff. But he did it because he recognized that, you know, the better you treat people when you're doing business with them, the better they treat you. And if somebody gets out of pocket, you know, then they know it's them and not you. All right. With that said, we talk a lot about what's happened to kids. Kids are so different. Now, kids ain't so different. Parents are so different. Parents are so different. There are things that my mother and father just would not accept. There's things I just could not say. There were conversations I just could not be a part of because I was a kid. It's grown folks conversation, adult conversations. So let's look at this parenting thing. First of all, when did it become cool for little boys to be turned into little dolls? I mean, we teach little boys to be dolls, basically. We're going to dress our little boys up. We're going to love on our little boys, and we're going to spoil our little boys, and we're going to spoil them so much that they're going to be rotten. And ain't no woman going to be able to do nothing with them because they've been smothered. And the smother has a capital M, mother. The mother has smothered the little boy and ruined the little boy. And now the little boy's sitting back caking up. Oh, I'm playing my Xbox. Where you get the Xbox from? PlayStation. Where you get the PlayStation from? You probably bought it, didn't you, Mom? Nah, hey, I'm talking to you like this because I love you. Don't get it twisted. I love you, and I love you enough to talk to you like this. So if we're saying that our daughters are so powerful and our daughters are so accomplished and so educated and so smart and so driven and doing all these things, why are we not realizing that with the boys? It's because the boys have been smothered. There was something I read that talked about the riots in Baltimore and the mother that went out and was smacking her son on national TV. And she was hailed as Mother of the Year. I'm sorry. Now, hey, your child, you can do what you want to do. I'm sorry. I know you were scared that this right here might happen, and I'm sorry. All of that was uncalled for. Whooping him like that? Beating him like that? No, that was uncalled for. You could have grabbed him by his arm and pulled him off that street and talked to him in private. But he wasn't out on the street because he wanted to go loot. Somebody in that van looked like him. That could have been him. I could imagine that he was thinking, man, they're doing this stuff. I can imagine that he's probably experienced some harassment by some of those very same law enforcement officials. So no, I'm sorry. I understand that's your son. I get it. At the same time, though, there's a certain way to handle it. It's a mother in Florida, I believe it was Florida. She went and pulled her son out of the cafeteria and went off on him in front of the teacher. Was going in on him, calling him the N-word, fussing at him, cussing at him, all this stuff. The teacher was scared. Hell, I was kind of nervous too, and I was on Facebook looking at it. She went off. I'm sorry. All that wasn't necessary. I'm sorry. That just wasn't necessary. I can tell you this. If our daughters can be coached up raised and put in these positions where they are launching more businesses than anybody else, being educated at the clip higher than anybody else. If our daughters can be taught that, I refuse to believe that our sons can't be taught the same thing. I'm sorry though. Sometimes moms, you smothering your son by turning him into a doll. Or you so mad at your son's father, and now your son's starting to look like your son's father. Now you're mad at your son. I'm sorry. That type of stuff got to end. It's got to end. Now, fellas, please don't think that I'm going to let you off the hook on this one. It's not going to happen. Fellas, listen, I just wrote a blog that talked about fatherhood and how we allow some women to bully us because we scared of child support. I don't give a damn about no child support. When I was going through my divorce with my children's mother, and I was sitting there talking to an attorney about child support and all this other stuff, I'm like, I ain't worried about child support. I ain't going to have to pay it. I ain't going to have to pay child support. And so I went to, after I had the paperwork written up, and I took it to my ex-wife, and I showed her how everything was going to end up in the dissolution agreement, and she signed the paperwork because she knew she wasn't going to have to worry about nothing with me with the children. She might not like me now. She might have never liked me since I said I want a divorce. I don't care about that. The one thing she knew, and that she has known, is that I was a present father, and I'm still a present father. She knew she could reach out to me, and I could do whatever I would, or I'd do whatever I could for the kids to make sure they were taken care of. She knew that. Ain't no excuses. If you're going to give her some money to take care of the kids, why not have your parental rights solidified by the court? Don't let her be able to threaten you. You know what? I'm going to take you to court and put you on child support, and you scared. You letting her bully you. No. Go get your parental rights. Go get legitimized in the eyes of the court. Get that taken care of. Hire a good attorney. Get that taken care of. And then have your rights enforced. Stop being bullied. Now, fellas, if you ain't never been there, or if you made a promise that you didn't keep, and now the wife or the mother of the child has to protect the child from you, I ain't talking to you right now. I'm going to talk to you in a second. I'm talking to that man that's involved and that's still getting disrespected by his mother, by the child's mother. I'm talking about the man that has been faithful and diligent in taking care of his responsibility. He's still getting grief from the mother. If you have not already taken control of your parental rights, do it. It might cost you a little money. That's an investment. It's not a cost. It's not an expense. It's an investment. When you invest in your parental rights, you get to enforce them. Let her not show up. Let her be late too many times. Let her not do what she's supposed to do. Get that court order, that court action. Watch her straighten up. Real talk. Just had a brother that had a situation where he had to go to the courts because his child's mother just kept on hanging out or not being where she's supposed to be or going out of town and doing all this stuff. Just kept on doing it. He finally got tired of it, went to the courts, and guess what? She on time now. That action straightened her up. He didn't have to confront her. He didn't have to go off. He didn't have to have this argument or none of that stuff. He just had to go get his rights enforced. That's it. Stop being scared to be the father. Go get legitimized in the eyes of the court. Take control of it. I promise you though, more times than not, if you do what you say you're going to do by your children, if you are consistent and reliable, more times than not, that child's mother ain't going to stop you from seeing that child. More times than not. Now, you got some bitter people out there, bitter men and bitter women that'll play games and use the kids in the middle. You can't deny that happens. I ain't talking about that. More times than not, she's going to welcome the break. She's going to be happy to get some time off. Happy to get some time off. But if you continue to hurt the child, disappoint the child, nah. She's protecting the child from you because she has to hear the crying. She has to explain. She has to try to bridge that gap because you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. So let's talk to those men who hadn't done what they're supposed to do up until this point. I guarantee you that if you start today and you show consistency today and you constantly do what you're supposed to do every day after today, that first of all, the child will welcome you. And second of all, even the most skeptical mother would welcome it because they want to see that. They want that child to be happy. But you got to do your part. You got to be consistent. You have to be present. You have to make sure that you are putting in what's going on. You have to be consistent, that you're putting in and contributing to what's going on. I got some comments from Facebook. Let's read those comments. Here we go. I believe it's Zephania. I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. Forgive me if I mispronounce the name. They want to be their kid's friend. We're talking about parents nowadays. They want to be their kid's friend. They want to be cool. I don't give a damn about that. My kids will tell you that there's a certain way that I spoke to them. And after that, I didn't speak to them like I was talking to my friends. Now that they're a little older, I talk to them a little differently because they're older, they're paying their bills for the most part. They're doing their own thing. So now I talk to them a little differently. But when they were children, I spoke to them like I was their father, not their friend. There are certain things that they don't talk to me. Well, they don't talk to me a certain way, especially then, because they knew that I was their father. Wasn't their friend, I'm still their father. Next, Leisha says they lost the sight of God. Now, hey, I'll tell you this, and I believe there's merit to that. What if the person doesn't believe in God? What if they're just good people? If they're just good people, they can be just as capable when it comes to parenting. They can be good people when it comes to how they deal with everyone. I'm not trying to demean anyone who believes in God. I believe. What I am saying, though, is that you can still be a good person and treat people nice, raise children to be responsible. You can do all that stuff, even if you don't believe in God. Because I know a whole lot of people who believe in God that are some real nasty folks. Mean as hell, spiteful as hell. I know there are a whole bunch of folks right now in this country who say that they believe in God, but look how they treat the poor. There are states in this country that have laws on the book that criminalizes feeding the homeless. There's a man who's 80-something years old in Florida who gets arrested every week for feeding the homeless in Atlanta. It's illegal to feed the homeless. So I completely understand that there's some God-fearing people they're at their core that are the epitome of a Christian. At the same time, you have to acknowledge that there's some people that go to church every Sunday. The night before, they were up in the club. Let's keep on rolling. Leisha says, nowadays it's about being their friend instead of their parent. Absolutely. All right, so I'm just going to call you Zeph because I don't want to mispronounce the name, Brother Zeph. He says in Isaiah 3:12, as for my people, children are their oppressors and women rule over them. Now, he ain't trying to preach, but he got a little biblical on y'all. I want y'all to understand what he just said now. Doesn't that sound like where we're living right now? Now, let's not mince words here. First of all, I believe that women are just as blessed and just as anointed, and I believe that women are powerful in their own right. I do not believe that men and women are equal. I believe that men and women balance each other. That's how I feel. I also believe that it's okay for a man to be masculine in the traditional masculine sense. There are things that men do and have done historically in this country, and I see that that's okay. At the same time, I don't believe that a woman should be subjected to catcalling every time she goes somewhere. I saw a guy who was a Christian Bible study leader run up on a reporter and smack her on the butt. That woman did not deserve that. I also read some of the comments under that post, and people were giving sympathy to the guy. Think about what you're doing. Think about the impact on him if you press charges. What in the what? No, he earned anything that he gets by his actions. Of course, he's apologized. Of course, he's come forward, and I applaud that part of it. He never should have had to because he never should have done it. Don't go to that woman saying, hey, you should feel sorry for him. No. He said he got caught up in the environment. Bull, you wanted to hit that woman on the butt. You thought it would be funny. It wasn't funny. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to justify those types of activities. I am talking about when men get amongst men, how we talk to each other. We can talk to each other how we want to. Y'all do it, ladies, and let's not get it twisted. When y'all talk about men, come on, son. Come on, y'all absolutely rip us to shreds. Y'all know how y'all do, and that's okay. What I'm seeing that the definition of manhood is being changed by women to what women think it should be. That ain't how this supposed to be. I'm being Pacific. That ain't how it's supposed to be. Men define men, just like women should be able to define themselves. And when women operate in their sincere femininity and men operate in their sincere masculinity, then we got balance. Okay? All right, now, I'm just saying, I want y'all to understand that when it comes to men and women are not equal. We are balanced. There's some things that women do intrinsically better than men. And there's some things that men do naturally better than women. It's just the way that some men and some women are built. Now, of course, not all women, not all men, by and large, though, that's the way it is. I was reading something about gender roles, and there's this movement to raise their children without a gender identity. That means don't bring me anything blue if it's a boy. Don't bring me anything pink if it's a girl. We're going to cut this little girl's hair so we don't have to have her worry about taking up feminine attributes. We're not going to give her dolls. We're going to give her educational toys that stimulates the brain. We're going to make sure that our families don't bring any type of anything that would identify the gender of that child. Because they thought that was the best thing for the parent or for the child. That daughter, young lady, I can't remember her name. I heard this on NPR. She's about 15. And she said she hated that her parents put her through that because she was bullied and tormented for not being girly enough or not being boyish enough or people not believing she was a girl anyway. She had to pull up her top to expose her breast to a bully so the bully would leave her alone for acting like a girl when she was a girl. I mean, I don't, when you say no gender roles, no gender identity, that is unnatural. Because if you take a little boy and a little girl, they're going to grow up as a male and a female. So the identity is there. I think what you were trying to get at was the cultural development. I think there has to be some type of shift in the culture, but not in the way that we were designed. When that young lady said that she hated that her parents, she didn't say she hated her parents now. She said that she hated that her parents raised her that way. It basically hit me that there's some things that we're just born with. And one of the things we're just born with is our identity. Now, if you learn at an early age that you like the same sex, that's fine. That's what you were born with according to what you believe, okay. If you believe that you were born to be attracted to the opposite sex, that's how you feel like you were, okay, whatever. Do what you want to do. At the same time, though, gender identity is important. If it wasn't, we wouldn't have so many people fighting for acknowledgement for the identity that they, the pronoun that they want to be addressed as, the way that they choose to identify themselves. If it wasn't important, why do you need those types of options? It is important, is my argument. And because it is important, I think that we should be cognizant of the fact of how we raise our children to make sure we're still raising them with some type of structure. Okay, let's talk about that structure. I ain't talking about a structure that suppresses their brilliance. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a structure that allows for their brilliance to manifest and for them to grow up and be as brilliant as they were designed to be. I believe that every child is born with 20-something features or 20-something skills naturally. And as they grow up, the ones that they're either taught or the ones they gravitate towards naturally grow, and the others, they atrophied and they don't know how to do that. So if we're born in brilliance, that means we're taught mediocrity. If we're born with all these skills, that means we're taught to be average. That's the part that has to be addressed. Everybody can't be brilliant according to society. You got to have some winners and some losers. That is a cultural norm. That's a cultural standard, because there's some people that want to be on top. But everybody was born with all types of talents. And in order to control those talents, they miseducate you. They tell you that you can only do this. You got to pick one thing to do. You go to college and you get one thing that you specialize in, and you get a job in that one thing that you specialized in, as opposed to being brilliant. People who walk in their brilliance believe they can do anything. And most times they do anything. And most times anything they've done, they end up being successful at it. That's because they believe they can. We get taught that we can't. And that's some of that bull that I like to talk about. We got that bull going on when people think, or people teach you that you can't do something. All right, so here we go. I got this clip. I like to talk about how we might start something and then they come along and take it. I mean, sometimes we just can't have ish. Y'all know what I mean by ish. Every time we start something, here they come. They want to come take what we do, or they want to come emulate what we do. They want to copy us. Everybody want to, copy our style, but they don't want to be who we are. So we're going to play this clip. I just need y'all to understand. When I say we can't have ish, we really can't have ish. Go ahead and roll that clip. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you see the choreography? I mean, they had the whole choreography done. Now, if you didn't know, the music in the background was one of Destiny's Child songs. So they had the little trio, and they did the little dance moves. The dude did the little Michael Jackson, and when he went back, he had a little. We can't have nothing. We can't have nothing. If you caught the keyboard player, he was back there trying to be all stoic, just like the guy who was in the Revolution. Dr. Fink. Y'all need to keep up with me now, because I'm going to throw these references out at y'all. I need y'all to catch these references. All I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, is we can't have nothing. We might make it. They might say, oh, we don't like that, but watch them copy. I mean, in no time, watch them copy. They do it every time. I can't stand it. They get on my nerves. Boom, you get the bell on that. All right, so listen. I was talking to my mother not long ago, and I'm going to tell y'all a story about my mother. First of all, my mother is one of the most determined people you will ever meet. And the story goes like this. It was like a Thanksgiving weekend or Thanksgiving holiday. My mother was driving the car that we had put our money together and bought for. And when she was driving the car, she went through a light and somebody T-boned her and knocked her over into a pole. Backed up and drove off. Left my mother in the car, in the seatbelt. Now, one of my nephews was there. He went into shock, and he was pacing up and down on the corner, but he was in shock, so he was just panicking. They had to cut my mother out of the car with the jaws of life. That's how hard she got hit. So she went to the hospital. She had bumped her head and bruised her knee and her elbow, but fortunately, no major injuries. She went to the police like, hey, what's going on with this car and this person who hit me? The police said, well, ma'am, we got to tell you honestly, there's a chance that we won't be able to find who hit you. Okay. So my mother gets out of the hospital. You know, she recuperates a little bit. And then one day, she drives back to the accident scene. Okay. Now, when she went to get her stuff out of the car, she looked in the car and she saw all this debris. What they do is they shovel it out off the street and they put it in the car that gets towed away. And she saw some stuff on the car. She saw some white scratches and some other stuff that was in the back of the car. So when she went back to the scene, something told her to just make a left turn. So she made a left turn because she remembered seeing the car back up and go that way. So she took that left turn and she just drove and she said, something told me to make a right turn. And she made a right turn. She made that right turn and drove a little bit. Then something else said to her, make another left turn. And she made that last left turn and she saw on the left-hand side a salvage yard. Junkyard, if you don't know what a salvage yard is. And she went in there and she stopped the car and she said to the guy, hey, listen, I want to buy my son a car. I want to see what you got on your lot. So the guy walked over and showed her a Honda Accord. Listen, this is a Honda Accord. It's a good car. No damage to it, nothing like that. She said, my son can't drive. I want to buy him something that's kind of beat up a little bit. And the guy said, all right, let me show you this car right here. And he walked over to this white car. Flashing back to what she saw in her car, there was an Optima, a little Optima piece from a Kia Optima in her car. It was a white Kia Optima that the man was showing her with red scratches on it. My mother's car was red. So she took a picture of the VIN number, called the police, said, hey, I done found this car. I need y'all to go check this car, run the VIN. They run the VIN and they found the lady who was driving drunk that night who had hit my mama. I'm sharing this story with you just to let you know that somebody might tell you that they don't know if they can help you. They're not sure if they got the answer. The answer is already in you. It's always been in you. Everything you need is already there for you to be successful. It's just a matter of, are you living in that right now or are you suppressing it? Here's how it works. You will get a flash of brilliance, an idea that'll pop in your head, and it's the best idea ever. Then you get hit with the law of diminishing returns. And that means that the longer you wait to act on that idea, it diminishes in value, and eventually you won't act on it. That's your brilliance calling out to you. But then you start thinking, hey, I got to go to work. I got a job. I got bills. You always going to have bills. Or, man, it's going to cost me money. You know, I ain't got no money. You ain't never had no money. Why are you worried about not having money now if you ain't never had money? How about you do something different? Do something different by listening to your own brilliance, following it, and being confident that you got what it takes to find what you need already. There was a Crime Stoppers reward that was issued in my mother's case. So after the police went and arrested the young lady and took her to court, my mother said, hey, what's up with that Crime Stoppers reward? Run me my money, player. Like, well, ma'am, you know, we don't really know if this is that. Okay, we'll cut you the check. After trying not to cut her the check. Bottom line of it is, you have everything you need to generate your own reward. Your own reward. Walk in your purpose, generate your own reward. Guess what happens? That's something nobody can take away from you. I have a friend of mine, he's an artist. And when I tell you he's an artist, he's like the best in the game type of artist. And this is all he's done, his art. And he has work that's, you know, in the homes of Bernie Mac and in schools that Oprah Winfrey has started. His originals start at $25,000. I want you to say it starts at $25,000. Don't think he ain't getting more than that, because he definitely is. And he's just an amazing artist. But the thing is, he said he's happy that everything that he needs, he's getting from his community. He only paints work that looks like us. That's all he does. And he is taking care of his family. He's helping other artists along the way with money that he gets. I'm gonna say wealth, with the wealth that he gets from our community. Our community has what it needs. It's enough. We just don't believe it's enough because we're so used to people telling us that we ain't enough. So I'm getting to this point right here. Let's talk about sacrifice. I need y'all to understand. Too many of us don't want to sacrifice. We've gotten to a point where we say things like, I don't go to black-owned businesses because the customer service is subpar. But you carry your ass to Walmart. You'll go to Waffle House. And I want you to understand, they ain't got the best record when it comes to customer service. You will set foot in places that disrespects your dollar. Go right back in there and patronize them. But when it's a black-owned business, now you all hoity-toity, looking down your nose. Y'all should be giving me a break anyway. Can I get the hookup? All this other foolishness that you don't go anywhere else asking for a discount. But you go to this black-owned business, I need a discount. Or you got all this highfalutin criteria. You expecting white glove service. That's just a manifestation of your unwillingness to sacrifice. Our generation is building infrastructure right now. We have so many people in our communities, not just women, but so many people that are starting businesses. That's the main thing to starting our resurgence in our community. You think that over the years that they didn't destroy our businesses for no reason? You think that they weren't jealous of what was going on Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma? You think they weren't jealous of that? You think they just bombed it for the heck of it? No, they saw what we were doing. They saw what we were doing and they were like, hey, they're better than us. So they began to terrorize business owners, and business owners still prosper. They begin to steal land. The acres that they've stolen from farmers equates to wealth that was stolen from generations of us. You think they didn't do that stuff on purpose? They did do it on purpose. I'm going to take it right back to the cannabis industry. After coming down on us so hard for drugs, just say no, Nancy Reagan, just say no. After just basically coming right at our community and incarcerating our people at a higher clip than anyone else, when the statistics show that everybody uses drugs about at the same clip. At the same clip in every community. But it's us mostly getting arrested and getting longer sentences for it. Now that it's becoming legal, once again, they're scared that we could get rich off of it because there have been people who've been selling it for so long, the distribution channels are already set up. What if those distribution channels become legitimate, become legalized? That's a whole supply chain that's getting a whole bunch of people wealthy that look like me and you. They didn't want that. That's why they're trying to lock us out. So we need the infrastructure, and then we need the businesses. So I'm going to encourage you to do this. 2020 is coming up real fast. 2020. Why not start a business? Well, I don't know what to do. Okay, just start. I don't know where to go. Google it. Damn. I don't know what I should do. Do what you do well, and that you and what you would do for free. Okay? If you do it for free and you do it well, that's your business. That's your business. Well, I got to get a business license. Yep, you got to get a business license. I mean, right now it's the information age. I know some people that make 6 figures selling tea. I need y'all to understand, they are just selling tea on the internet. On the internet. That's a new form of the internet. On the internet. They selling tea. That's all they do. Sell tea. Get this herbal tea to help you sleep. This herbal tea to regenerate, for rejuvenation. this tea for, that's all they do is sell tea. That's it. I have a friend, he and his wife, they have a gym, and they bought these bands. You know, women are using these bands for extra resistance now. And they buy the bands, and they have the markup, and they're making a killing on some damn bands. All you got to do is find a wholesaler after you get your business license, your tax ID. You can get a tax ID online for free. Your business license ain't gonna cost you that much. You can operate out your house. You can get a website for free to get started, or less than $100. So I'm challenging you. In 2020, start a business. When you start your business, you start your path towards wealth. Good friend of mine, his name is David, one of the best salespeople I've ever met. David is a business owner. I went to David's office one day. He was on the couch in his office with his shoes off, with his feet kicked up, chilling, talking on the phone. Because it's his business. Do what the hell he want to do. Generating a good living for it. And making a way for other people to generate a good living for themselves, working for him. Now he says working with them because he makes them get their own tax ID number. You get your own business, you do business with me. Because there are tax benefits to having your own business. There's so many things that you can do with your own business. Now I don't mean just start it and let it sit. I mean start it and actually start working on it. I ain't saying quit your job today. You can actually start your business and still work. Just make sure you're not giving your job the best of you. Give your job good work now, quality work. Give the best of you to your family and to your business, and then build it. A family doing very well in Atlanta started their business in their basement. In their basement. Started a call center in their basement with, I think, about 10 people. Now they have a business with 1,000 people just in Atlanta. They have a location in Dallas and a location in Charlotte. They're trying to employ 10,000 people that look like me and you. Started in their basement. It ain't just Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates and Warren Buffett that's starting in their homes that's getting rich or that are well established. It's us too. They just started and then they didn't stop. You can do the same thing. I started. Y'all don't think I'm about to blow up? Just watch me. Ain't gonna be all over Facebook. That ain't how I do it. But one day I'm gonna pull up. You ain't gonna recognize the car because the windows are gonna be smoked out. I'm telling you, watch what I do. Listen, this has been a whole lot of fun. I had a lot of fun working with Tony. Tony was a good guest. He wasn't really knowing that she was going to be here, but like I said, you're in this office when I'm on the air. Yep, you probably going to end up on the air too. I got one more clip I want to play, and then we'll bring it all together. Ladies, y'all be tripping. Y'all be tripping. When y'all say ain't nothing wrong, but y'all want us to know something wrong, it just drives me crazy. It drives me crazy how y'all act when y'all mad. I read something that said, if my wife is mad at me, I gotta call her so she can show me that she mad at me. Because if I don't call her, it's really gonna be a problem. So I gotta call her so she can ignore me. If that ain't the biggest piece of bull I ever heard in my life, how in the world do I have to call you so you can feel like I know that you mad at me? Just tell me you mad. Tell me why you mad. Let's work on it, move beyond it, and keep on going. But now y'all want to play these games. So this is how y'all act, ladies. When y'all say, what's wrong? Y'all say nothing, but this is how y'all act the rest of the day. Go ahead and roll clip.
Hey!
Now, ladies, y'all tell me that ain't true. I mean, just for real. Y'all know it's the truth. You can't even act. You can't even act like it ain't true because you know it's true. That's what y'all be doing. And quite honestly, we tired of it. We gonna leave y'all alone in 2020. I promise you. Listen, we do this every Thursday from 6 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. right here on Status Network and Manifest TV. I'm gonna need you to follow us. On Instagram is manifesttv.status. Facebook, Status Network LLC. Periscope, status_network_. Twitter, status network _ Twitter is status_network_. We are on the Amazon Fire Stick and Roku. Also, Status Network and Manifest TV. And on YouTube as Manifest TV. I am Talk with Jeffery, Jeffery. You can do the hashtag Talk with Jeffery and everything will pull up. My website, my blog. You'll find me on all social media except for Snapchat. I'm still not snapping. I'm still not chatting. I don't get it. I'm going to let y'all have it. It's been a great show. I've really enjoyed it. We'll be back next week. If I don't get a chance to talk to you, happy holidays to every one of you. Your boy Kush is the producer, putting it down like he does. Yannette is my office girlfriend. I'm about to break up with you. Jack Trey pays the bills. And I put it down just like this. I've had a whole lot of fun, but I am out. So now, you know.
Now that you know about Jeffery, and let's talk about it live, come be a part of our family.
You know we had to give y'all homework, right?
Keep up with the show. Follow us on all of our social media platforms.
That's Facebook and Instagram.
Would you like to listen to the show on the go? Make sure you download the Status Network app on your Google or Apple Play Store.
Want to talk to Jeffery?
Dial 470-251-4647.
We thank you for listening. And make sure you're back here every Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffrey L. Miller.
Status Network.